Hey everybody, this is my first time doing this, so I want to welcome everybody who's here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be doing this a little bit more often. This is my first time. So the main reason I'm doing this tonight is I just want to introduce why I'm going to be doing this. Starting on Wednesday, every Wednesday I'm committing to doing a live stream where I'm going to talk about an alternate economy and setting that up in your region and communicating with other people in other regions about how to trade goods, whether it be with if you want to do it with fiat currency, you can do it with that, or cryptocurrency, or bartering, or whatever you want to do to exchange goods. That's the purpose of like an underground economy, an agorist economy. Agorism is to do it outside of the central banking system, the control grid of that. So everything should be decentralized so that not any one group or person is controlling everything. So I'm going to do a show on that every Wednesday in the evening. I haven't decided the time yet, but I will start it this Wednesday, so we'll decide the time by tomorrow, and I'll announce that and make a post about that. And then on Fridays, I haven't been doing very much cop watching, and that's kind of what started this channel. Hey, Taz Nudes Tacoma. Hey, Null ID. That's kind of what started this channel, is I was doing cop watching, First Amendment audits. So I decided I need to get back into that, and I'm going to do it by doing live streams and hopping back and forth between. It's buffering. Yeah, I guess I maybe am too. Is everybody buffering? If you can see me, give me a 1. Or if you can hear me, I should say. I'm sorry. There we go. I can see my preview. I'm good now. If you're buffering, just refresh, I guess, and see if that works. All right, there we go. I'm back. All right, that's good. So the point of the Wednesday night show is, with what's going on in our world right now, if we continue, if things continue as they are, if you want to participate in society as we used to, we're not going back to what it used to be. They've already said that. They've already declared that. So if you want to keep participating in society with the new rules they set, you're going to have to get a vaccine. You're going to have to whatever they want. You're going to have to keep masking. You're going to have masking. You're going to have to get a vaccine. You're going to have to do whatever they want. You're going to have to submit to everything they do. Hey, zombie enforcement. Hey, Lola. How you guys doing? You're going to have to submit to all those things. And if you don't want to do that, how are you going to survive? How are you going to get food? Because they're going to make it so you can't go to the store. You can't get inside of the store if you don't have your health passport that says you have the proper vaccines, those different things. So this is really important to make sure you understand there is a way to survive outside of that. And it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there is a way to do that. And, we should have been laying the groundwork a long time ago, but we can start doing it right now. It's never too late. So that's kind of what that show is going to be about on Wednesday nights. We want to focus on that. We've got some good ideas already that some friends and I have discussed. So that's going to start this Wednesday. So I hope you guys join me for that. Like I said, I don't know the time yet. It'll be in the evening. My guess is maybe like 7 Pacific time. Right? You're right, Nick. What's up, Lady Justice, Liberty News? So I hope everyone's having a good night. I know it's pretty tough times. This has all been real stressful on everybody. We need to all kind of step back and remember that every once in a while, because it's, this this last, I guess, 9 months we're on now has been really stressful. So I hope, just remember to smile at people you see. That's why you shouldn't be wearing a mask, so you can smile, show some emotion. Share some love with the people around you. There's so much division, and we got to start breaking the paradigm. I think that's the most important thing. So that's kind of what tonight's show is about. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of the. There's a couple of groups. They're kind of a larger groups, but they're made to be regional, so it's part of a smaller community. One of them is called People's Rights, and the other one is called the Freedom Cell, I think, network. People's Rights was started by Ammon Bundy. The Freedom Cell network was started by Derek Bros, and I think some of his friends. What's up, Oregon Rogue, Tommy Stock, and Brandon Thornton. Right, Brandon? So tonight's show, I kind of want to discuss those because people's rights, I belong to both of those different groups. I'm registered in both of them. I gave them all my information, and I believe in both of them. So let me start with that. I think they're both really important. Everybody that I've met in them seems to believe in freedom, or we might disagree a little bit on what freedom is, I think, but we all want freedom. So if we can at least have discussions about that and come to common ground, then we can really take off in both of those groups, I think. But I just wanted to talk about the differences between them and why you might enjoy joining one over the other. Hey, John Wright, how you doing tonight? Here's my quick take on them. So let me just, let's see, get into this here. People's Rights. So People's Rights, this is their website. I have a link to it in the description of this video. Like I said, this is the one started by Ammon Bundy. It's more focused on the Constitution. So while I'm a member of it, I think that's in my estimation, that's where it falls a little bit short, as it believes in words on paper that eventually, no matter what you believe the Constitution says, eventually you get what we got right now, which is not good. So I can't remember the Lysander Spooner quote, but it's something along the lines of, whether the Constitution be one thing or another, it's either been useless to prevent the government that we have now, or it was made to create the government that we have now, and either way it has no authority over me, basically. So that's it. Anyways, that was a Lysander Spooner quote. I like a lot of his thoughts on government, I guess. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. So that's the People's Rights website. Like I said, there's a link to it in the description. Let me see here real quick. So here's the Freedom Cells. So yeah, this is funny. So Freedom Cells, it used to have a little page with some video describing what exactly it was. And tonight you can't really see it very good on your screen there, but it says, the Freedom Cell Network has experienced a serious outage. We are aware. No need to notify us. We'll be in touch with updates. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Of course, when I'm trying to give it a little bit of a spotlight, that's when that happens. Right? All right. So, and there's one other thing we're going to go over tonight. Besides talking about that, I'm going to take a call or two. If anybody wants to call in, I'll put up a number here in a little bit. While I'm doing that, let's see. Another thing I wanted to talk about, like on Wednesday nights, when we talk about an agorist economy, I wanted to share with you guys. There is this. This is the website that I just put on the screen there, agorist.market. James Corbett of the Corbett Report put out a little bit of a call to action, said, hey, we need to get this going, and somebody that is a follower of his just decided, hey, I'm going to create this little website. So it's pretty basic. There's not much to it. It's kind of like Craigslist, I guess, in a way, as far as the display, how it looks. But it's definitely worth checking out. Here's just what the website looks like. But there's kind of a market. You can, if you're a business and you want to do business outside of the regular economy, you can list your business there, or your services, and how you want to take. If you want to take Bitcoin, you can put your Bitcoin wallet address there. If you want to take Monero or Ethereum or Hive or Steam or whatever it is you want to take, you just put your wallet address there, and you can, whoever wants to buy your product can just send you whatever the amount of that, whatever the currency you want to your address. So it's pretty cool. All right. So let me check up on what you guys are saying here, because I do want to involve you guys in this. I hope you're having a good night tonight. I don't know. What do you guys think about what's going on? Did you guys hear the announcement from NASA about what's happening here in December? I think it's between the 16th and the 22nd. I was watching some videos that a friend sent me recently on the subject. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me see if I can pull it up, maybe. Hey, Iron Man, low volume, huh? On the microphone? Here, is that better? Give me a 1 if that's better. All right, so anyways, the reason I kind of bring up the people's rights and the freedom cells thing, the people's rights, like I said, is Ammon Bundy. He's a firm believer in the Constitution. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, the Constitution is a pretty good document, I guess, as far as establishing government. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I can turn it up a little bit higher. If it gets too high, somebody tell me something. But I turn it up a little bit more. I don't want to turn it up too high, but that should be a little bit better. Whereas the Freedom Cells is started by Derek Bros, who is a voluntarist, anarchist, whichever way you want to put it, both one and the same as far as I'm concerned. So the difference, I guess, is one still believes in establishing some form of government. Now, you can argue, depending on what you think of the Constitution, you can argue that that form of government is not that the Constitution is set up to keep government in check and to keep it from infringing on our rights. That's what the Bill of Rights is. You know, it doesn't establish we have rights, or it doesn't establish the government gives us rights. It says that the government cannot infringe on them. The government, you know, Congress shall make no law. So it's saying you can't take them away from us. All right, there, Rich. I turned it up all the way on my mic here, so let's see how that is for you. So, you know, for me, I don't personally believe in the Constitution. I'm a voluntarist myself. I don't believe that anyone has a higher claim to my life or property than I myself do. And I don't participate in any scheme of handing that over to anyone by voting or participating in any government that, you know, thinks it can take money against my will, my earnings against my will, and use them to buy, you know, weapons of force and aggression, and take more against my will if they decide that they have new programs they want to pay for that the government provides. Anyways, we won't get into that. That's not what this is about. But the Freedom Cells, Derek Bros, is about he, like I said, he's a voluntarist, he's an anarchist, so it comes from that aspect. And I guess that, I will say the one downfall of that, I think, is there's a little bit less organization. I'm in a group of voluntarists, and we kind of joke that, you know, we can never decide anything because everyone's just like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to force anyone to, I want to make you make that decision before you're ready. And so there is a little bit less organization, but there is a way to communicate through the Freedom Cell network, and we should be establishing ways outside of our cell phones and regular communications, you know, with ham radios and things like that, to communicate once the power grid goes down, because it sounds like it's probably gonna. That's what they're telling us. So what do you guys think? Have any of you guys joined either of those groups, or do you know about them? Have you heard about them before this? Thanks, Rockman. Appreciate that. Hey, Froggy, nice to see you. Sorry, Robert Hilton. Yeah, Steve Miller. I would agree with that. All right, so the other thing is I had a cop watch tonight in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and the cop was a well, to keep it a family show. I'll show the video here. I'll play it here. To keep it a family show, he was a jerk. So I'm gonna play it here in a little bit and let you guys play it. If we might get a call from the watch commander. I placed a call to them and asked for a call back because I would like to speak with them about this policy enforcer for Coeur d'Alene. He didn't answer any of my questions. He started making threats to me, and then he wouldn't answer any of my questions afterwards. He just sped off like a coward. So I'm going to play that for you guys, and hopefully while we're chatting here, they'll call back, and we can maybe hear my conversation with the watch commander about that while you guys are on the phone with me, or excuse me, on the stream with me. Let me get that pulled up.
Fine where I am, I'm not in anybody's way. The sidewalk is up here. The sidewalk is up here though, sir. I'm fine right here. Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. It's a threat of violence.
Of it play out there, and I'm going to mute it because he doesn't really say anything with me. He's just talking to that guy. But he told me to go to the sidewalk back at the it was in front of some kind of fast food restaurant. He told me to go to the sidewalk back there, and I was like, that's their property, man. You can't tell me to go to that sidewalk. The sidewalk's right here. And then he makes a threat of violence, and I didn't have my phone with me to I don't know. I felt a little bit nervous about it, so I decided not to press the issue anymore. And then he sped off before I had a chance to talk to him. So that was disappointing, but that's why I put in the call to find out who he was, what the deal was, why he thinks he can issue threats. When he's armed like that, why he thinks he can issue threats. Yeah, see, now you can see he's speeding off.
Hey! What the fuck's your problem, man? Issuing orders like that and running off like a pussy?
There, I played that at the end. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All right. So I'm going to put up a phone number, and if anyone would like to call and discuss either the people's rights or the freedom cells, and if either of you guys have joined any of them, what your thoughts on the two organizations are. Personally, I think you should join them both. I think you should communicate with people in both groups. I think establishing networks with people that are like-minded is really important. My only issue with the people's rights group is like today and in the past, I've had issues with, there's a lot of people that think that, they're, well, I'm a conservative or I'm a Democrat and my way is the right way. And, ultimately you have to remember, if you believe in the state, if you believe that in the legitimacy of the state, of government, then you believe in using unjust force against people that don't agree with you in some fashion or another. So in order to coerce them to behave in the way you want them to behave. So just like today, for an example, I just want to share a story with you real quick. I was talking to a guy that I call him a friend. I've met him several times at different activities, different activist type activities, and he's a Trump supporter. And he was telling me that where he lives, there's a lot of hypodermic needles and things like that from heroin users. And this gentleman smokes marijuana, so he is a drug user, like a lot of us are. A lot of us use some sort of drug. So this guy was telling me, well, that's BS, man. That's why we need government. Is we need government to clean that kind of stuff up. And so then I said, okay, well, how does government do that without using force? Unjust force against someone else that doesn't agree with doing it the way government wants to do it. And he said, well, we need to figure out a good way to do it. I agree that I don't like the way they do it right now. Maybe we shouldn't be throwing them in cages. And so I said, all right, how do we do it? And he said, I don't know. I don't think they should be going in jail for the drug, but having the needles everywhere, it's gross. We need to have that picked up. And I agree, they should pick that up if they're going to do that. You shouldn't throw them on the ground. That's gross. But it's not hurting anyone to do that. If I throw a needle on the ground or a piece of paper or whatever, it's not hurting anyone. It may be gross and it may be bad of me to do that, and maybe a good way to do that is to kind of socially shame people that do that stuff, or I don't know, maybe there's another way, but just saying, throwing people in cages because they use a certain drug doesn't seem like the right way to go. Not in my opinion, anyways. So, that's one thing. Maybe here when I put the phone number up, you guys can call in and we can talk about. But so when I asked him, well, what's your solution? Because he kept saying, well, I go to the city council and they won't fix anything. They won't change anything. They don't do anything about it. So I said, well, what's your solution? How are you going to fix it? And he didn't have an answer. He hadn't even thought about that. He's so concerned with city council, the ruling class, fixing this problem that he doesn't like, having someone else fix his problem. He hadn't even thought about how to fix it himself. So when I just offered up some solutions, well, you could go pick it up yourself if you don't like it, since you can't really force, because he kept saying he didn't agree in forcing people to do things against their will. So I said, all right, well, if you don't like it, then go pick it up yourself. And he said, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And I said, all right, well then, so the only other option is to go, or to, like I said, go organize a group or an organization that gets voluntary money, so people voluntarily pay for it, all the costs of that organization, to go pick up needles on a weekend so that you don't have to do it, but you can maybe pay other people to do it or something like that. I don't know. Figure out a way to do it without taking money from people against their will to pay for the way you want things to be. And he couldn't get that concept. And, so that's the problem is, a lot of people think, oh, I believe in rights. I believe we should be free. But, true freedom is uncomfortable. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that. So we need to remember that and think about how uncomfortable, is it just that we're uncomfortable, or is someone really hurting us or taking money from us or, damaging our property or defrauding us somehow? We need to focus on the non-aggression principle instead of focusing on, well, I don't like this and government is a way I can change it, because government is always force. Because let's say what I presented to him, let's say, what if you went to city council and let's say government worked the way he thought it should, and you presented something and they said, yeah, let's get those needles picked up. Let's hire some people to go pick them up with garbage bags. And then I said, the problem is I don't believe in doing that. I think if you want them picked up in your neighborhood, you should go pick them up or get someone to do it, whatever, without affecting me, unless you present it in a way that I want to voluntarily support that. And he just couldn't get that. And, people struggle with that. And that's the one thing with the people's rights thing, because Ammon Bundy, the guy who started it, is perceived as being a right-wing, he gets a lot of that following. He gets a lot of Trump supporters following. He gets a lot of conservatives following. And I have nothing against Trump supporters. I have nothing against conservatives, other than the fact that they do condone using force to take some of my money against my will, or the threat of force and violence, or being put in a cage to take some of my money against my will, or if I'm going too fast on a road even though I'm not hurting someone. They all advocate for that kind of stuff. So I don't like that about them. But most of them are just kind of ignorant to the fact that they do. I was once like that, so I can't really hold it against them because of their programming. Anyhow, I hope you guys are still there. My computer's messing up a little bit, so I don't know. Maybe I won't take a call. Like I said, my computer isn't showing me any chat or anything like that right now, so everything's kind of blank on that screen. So, oh yeah. So I think I'm just going to end this. This was my first test. We'll see how it went. But at the very least, I'm going to try to get things fixed. If it didn't, if what's going on right now is a problem when I watch it later. And we'll see you on Wednesday at the very least with our first weekly episode of the Alternate Economy Wednesdays. So I hope you guys have a good night. Sorry I had some technical difficulties here at the end. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Peace.